4 weeks until the election, and Donald Trump has some catching up to you. We've been showing you the latest national polls from CNN with Joe Biden opening up a 16-point lead. He's also ahead in a lot of the key demographics, the crosstabs, as they say. The latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll has him up big over Donald Trump among older voters and suburban women. And in Pennsylvania, a key battleground state on which the Trump campaign was eager to focus its final efforts, Joe Biden leads there by 12. Biden's lead may look significant, but given what happened in 2016, there's a lot of apprehension among Democrats. So in a 24-minute closing argument video, Michelle Obama shared a message. It all comes down to voting.
So we can expect that this election will be won by the slimmest of margins, just like 4 years ago. A handful of votes per precinct in Pennsylvania or Arizona or Wisconsin or Florida or anywhere else will make all the difference. And right now, we've got a chance to start getting things back under control, to restore some stability and integrity and soul in this country. It is within our grasp. And that's what keeps me going.
Jason Johnson, Elise Jordan are back with me. Elise, it feels like they are putting all of the pillars in place that made Joe Biden's case during that week of the Democratic Convention. This video from Michelle Obama carrying a similar echo to what she said in her convention speech, where she said, put on your comfy shoes, pack a brown bag lunch. We're going to vote, folks. And this turnout message does seem really important to the Democrats this time around.
Nicole, and the turnout message is exactly what Democrats need to be stressing right now, just because the margins of this election are going to be important, not only in order for their candidate, Joe Biden, to win, but because of the aftermath. And I'm really scared about the political aftermath of a Donald Trump loss. We haven't given that much attention to the absolute insane statement that President Trump made at the debate last week about not accepting election results necessarily, just because there were so many other things that were so wrong that night, namely he wouldn't disavow white supremacy. But he was not promising to accept the election results, a statement that would put diplomats around the world, their hair on fire if it happened in any foreign country, and yet the president was saying it in our country. So Michelle Obama's message is so important, just because Democrats need to have very robust turnout and the highest margin of victory possible just to quell the potentially nasty aftermath of the election.
You know, I don't disagree with the strategy, Jason Johnson, but it is another way that Donald Trump just contaminates the playing field. I mean, not only does Joe Biden have to win, he has to win by such an overwhelming margin that all of Donald Trump's corrupt and illegal efforts to delegitimize the election, such as telling his voters in North Carolina to vote twice, which is felony voter fraud. I get it, and I understand why it's necessary, but it does seem like a victory should be a victory.
Yeah, Nicole, like we're at the point where the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, is tacitly saying, we know the other side is going to cheat, so you have to vote. That's where we are. It's assumed the president is going to try to stop the vote through the post office. Local Republicans are going to try to stop the vote. We've already seen it. I believe it's Harris County, North Carolina, where 3 times as many ballots being dropped off by African Americans are getting rejected. Everybody knows that this is going to be a fight, and only overwhelming numbers and overwhelming margins will intimidate Republicans from going to court or going to the Supreme Court. What I can say is this, and you know, Michelle Obama's message is really important because the enthusiasm is there already with large numbers of voters, especially African-American voters. About 347,000 African-Americans have already cast their ballots. 347,000. And 13% of those voters didn't vote in 2016. So that's enthusiasm. Wow. That is people who skipped out 4 years ago who are like, we can't do this again. So she is delivering this message at the right time because it is those demographics, infrequent voters, young people, black folks, people who are facing suppression who are going to be key to the margins in places like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and believe it or not, Arizona.
Jason Johnson, Elise Jordan, it is always a pleasure to talk to both of you, but especially today. The news is surreal as usual. Thank you for spending some time with us. A note to our viewers, our special coverage of the vice presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence starts tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Joy, Rachel, Brian, and me. When we come back, as we do every day, we will remember lives well lived.
Guys, if you wake